All right, West Coast swing dancers, today we're going to bring you our 3 secrets to a good anchor step for West Coast swing. My name is Brian B.
I'm Miss Megan.
First, let's define what is an anchor, and I think there's 3 core things. The first thing is that the anchor step ends a pattern, right? We dance a pattern. It ends that pattern before starting the next, right? That part we kind of get. The second thing, and the one that you're probably here to uncover, is that it creates an elasticity and stretch between the partners while we're dancing those moves. Yes, it's ending the pattern, but it's creating elasticity and stretch into the next pattern. And the third one, and I debated whether or not this should be one of my 3 secrets or keys to a good anchor step, is that the anchor step is not a foot position, it's a body position. And here's what I mean about that. And when we're taught this foot's going to go behind, and we're going to cover that, and it is a great way to do an anchor, but really it's the relationship of our body and our centers. So meaning, I could actually be in the wrong foot position and still end the pattern with elasticity and stretch. So I might even start in this position, and I can still dance Megan through a pattern and end not in an anchor foot position, but in a body position to still let me create elasticity and stretch with my partner. Does that make sense? Okay, now let's talk about some of the common mistakes before we give you the 3 secrets. So there's 3 core mistakes that you're likely making that is causing you to not have a great anchor step, and the first one is simply posture. I know it's boring, but if I have bad posture, either I'm pulled away from my partner or I'm slung towards my partner and I'm dancing this way, I cannot have really good connection and stretch to my partner if I have bad posture. Let's quickly define posture. There's 4 body blocks. My feet, that's one. My hip weight, that's another. My rib cage, that's another. And my head sits on top of it. And when they're stacked up, you can move your body in different ways within that stacked up position. If I were to have my feet out from underneath my body, then I would not be stacked up and have good posture. This is a super common one for West Coast swing dancers. We let this body block get away and they go, I'm stretching. But notice, there's no reaction of Megan when I do that. Why? Because it's just this body block. If I took all of them together, you can see her react to that because everything's stacked up. But if I take this back and my rib cage forward, or worse, she's not gonna like this one. If my rib cage goes back, it hunkers down. That's not good. And you'd just be creepy if you start to put your head in weird positions, except for the 22-year-olds that do this stuff all the time. So those are the body blocks. Number 2 is moving too early or not moving at all. What do I mean by that? If we dance a whip and a sugar push, and Megan's cruising along, right? We gave 5, 6, and she goes 7 and 8 moves early, 7 and 8 moves early, I don't have any stretch. So if the follower or leader moves early, that's bad news. It also works in reverse. I get this with followers who think that they're hanging back. We dance the whip, everything works already. She's already ruined it for me. Meaning, when she hunkers down, I hunker down, there can be no stretch. Maybe I can fake it in my own body, but at some point, I need to pull her old bones through that move. So if you're moving too early or not moving yourself at all, that is another common problem. And the third one, probably the most common because this is the anchor, it's a body position, not a foot position. My center is not held back. So Megan and I are in a neutral position. As I pull my center away from that connection, I create some stretch. And now I've got some stretch to play with. I can move my own body a little bit and we can start to create stretch. So not having your center back. Now this comes to the common mistake that we get in beginner class. I'm gonna switch us to this side, Megan, because you've all been taught this, that this foot gets anchored behind. It is, and we almost confuse that this is the anchor step. And in the beginning, it's a great thing to go through. Why? And we're gonna fix this in our 3 secrets, but if my foot is behind, well now, the likelihood that my center is moving away and that my posture is good as I move my weight into the right foot during my triple step and all the body blocks with good posture, no one's moving too early or too late, we're centered. That is a good position to have a good anchor step. But key number 3 is that my center is pulled back. Now, let's give you 3 secrets to making that all happen on the dance floor. All right, there's 3 secrets that you can do and use to increase your likelihood of having stretch in your anchor step. Here's the first one. It's a secret because it's not often talked about. It's to connect early. So what I mean by that is, 1, 2, 3, and 4. In my 6 count patterns, on count 4, I want to start to think about the connections. So on your 6 count patterns, it's count 4. On your 8 count patterns, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, it's count 6. So it's the step before the anchor position, if you will, before the anchor step. I'm going to use that terminology, the step before the anchor step, even though we know it's a position. So the way to sort this out in your brain is, if I'm in a fully connected, stretched anchor with a partner, whatever that amount of tension is between you and that partner on that day is a 10. So meaning it might be a lighter partner or a heavy partner, but it's a 10 for Megan and I. It's not on the same scale. It's going to be relative to each partner. So that's a 10. When I get to count 4, 2, 3, and 4, I want to have about a 5 out of my 10, meaning I'm not hunkering down on it, but I'm not ignoring it either. So I have a little bit of connection early, and I build through my anchor step until I get to the 10, the max connection between me and my partner. If it's an 8 count pattern, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, count 6, and then we're going to build into that. So this comes into, I have to manage my space while doing that. What I mean by managing my space is, let's say Megan's a beginner and she runs all the way down the slot, and I do my perfect beginner footwork. Can you see what's happening? We're already stretched out. So we both have to have an awareness of staying small. Smaller footwork's always better than bigger footwork every single time, especially for this. So I'm going to manage my space, and I'm monitoring where Megan's dancing. I'm noticing she's not going to be too big. Maybe she was even a little smaller. No, you're fine. And so I'll adjust my step till I go, okay, I can create about a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10. And then I can build to my anchor. So secret number 1 is connecting early. Number 2 is, let's say I get to that position. I'll lead the whip. 2, 3, and 4, 5, count 6. I've got some connection. I want to build it from a 5 to a 10. How do I do that? We sort this out. We think about our arms and connect and all this baloney. I want to develop the ability to roll through my feet, triple step. And there's a good drill that I use. I'm going to use Megan as my wall. Yeah, we'll go this way. If there's a wall behind you, I'm going to use leader's footwork just because I'm a leader. I want to be maybe 6, 8 inches off that wall. If I just step on that foot, you notice there's space between Megan and I. What I want to do is roll my weight into that foot until I can feel that wall. Bingo. So if there's a wall, stand 6 to 8 inches off it, practice rolling through your feet and finding that wall. What finding that wall is analogous to is finding the end of the connection. If we dance our whip, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. We're in good position. I have some connection, not all of it. I want to build triple step. As I roll through my feet, toe to ball to heel, I'm looking for that wall. In this case, the wall is a 10 in my connection. Whatever the 10 feels like for you and your partner. Now we've got some stretch. You can see Megan. I'm not telling her telepathically to respond. She can feel me, and as I take off into the next pattern, it's stretchy, it looks like an anchor step. I'm going to backtrack for just a second and say that this is the most basic, easiest position to manage it out of is keeping my foot behind. You will see pros that will do this same thing, even anchored in front in weird positions, but notice they're rolling their weight back and finding that wall, and you get all sorts of cool styling things. It's a position through the centers and rolling back to the feet that create that. In the beginning, tuck that foot behind. You'll never go wrong. No one will ever be upset with you. Finally, the third and most difficult one is a timing issue. It's delaying the 1. So the longer, if we dance 2 sugar pushes, boring, straight, hardly connected, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Our beginner teachers love us. It's super comfy to dance with people, but you didn't come here to look boring. We want to be able to stretch and create little delays and accelerations, and this is what the pros do wonderfully, almost to the point that they look off time, because they're stretching the connection. So the ability to stretch and not dance straight on the 1, but to almost dance 1 and a 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6 and 1 and 2. So it's a very late in the 1. Now, before we go down that rabbit hole, I want you to do this. Play a song. If there's music dancing in the background, Megan should be able to dance her footwork all by herself to that song. Then if she wants to delay it, we're both hearing a song in our head. We want to be able to delay it. And notice, even though there's not even songs for us to hear, we're delaying but staying in the same, on the same beat, in the same song, within the same beat range of each other. So you want to first make sure you can do that on time by yourself. You want to develop the skills within yourself to delay. You know, maybe you're doing a tap step. You'll see people do this, like tap and step. Maybe you'll just see people really delaying through the feet and accelerating. So you want to practice that in your own body first, in my own body second, and then I have a chance of putting it together with my partner. Now, since you made it this far, you're probably interested in some of the details of West Coast Swing. We've done a great video over here called the top 7 techniques of West Coast Swing that you want to take a peek at. And if you're really interested in anchor step and what else can you do, we did another video here you can download. It's called 5 Ways to Style Your Anchor Step. Super easy stuff, and people love it. See you on the dance floor soon.